go. We'll be there in one moment, guys. Hold for me. Hold. Hold. Here we go. We're here. 1 sec. Here we go. Boop. Oh. Pause that. And welcome back to the Mayday pod. It's not a podcast. It's a show. Look at my eye. Can you see it? It's so much better than it was. I know we were supposed to do the watch party for the second game on Saturday, but I have the weirdest eye infection, and it's better now. The antibiotics are working, but on Saturday I was like, am I dying? So I think I got sneezed on. I think that's what happened. I think that my boy sneezed in my eye, or I don't know, probably his poop got in my eye somehow. I don't know. Okay? Maybe I got my baby's poop in my eye. Okay? I'll say it. That's what happens. I wash my hands 58 times a day, and it just does not matter. But I guess this type of thing that doesn't heal when you don't sleep very much. So, as you can imagine, it's not going well. Yankees have the same lineup tonight as yesterday. You mean nobody? Because there was no game. Ha ha. Boom. Trevor, what team do you love playing for most? And the favorite team as a kid? I don't have a favorite major league team. I have some favorite seasons. I mean, 2022 and 2019 were my two favorite seasons. Obviously, we were really good, and obviously they were pretty good. 2022 could have went better for me, but I also had a really good 2021, so I'll take those. But then again, 2023 was really fun in a lot of different ways. So it's like, which one? Which one? You know what I mean? Yanks got tested and stepped on a rake. Ooh, we're going to have a lot of salty Yankees today, huh? Well, I got good news. I got good news. Oh, impulse. I'm a supinator. My middle finger is longer than my pointer. Well, most of them are, but is it like drastically different? Or is it just like a little bit different like this? This is a slight difference. And then there's like a full knuckle difference for a lot of people. It depends on which one. Sorry, I didn't get my Subway Series. Yeah. I mean, I think this is the second best option behind the Mets being in against the Yankees. You know what I mean? Probably the most boring would have been, I think, just in terms of the country generally, not the fan bases. The fan bases would love this, but if it were like Mets, Cleveland, at least we would have had a team that hadn't won in a long time. So that would be pretty good. Pretty drastic. You can't throw a changeup. Why don't you think you can throw a changeup? I still think the NLCS was the World Series because I believe the Mets could beat the Yankees. I think that it would have been a good matchup. I think that the Yankees can beat the Dodgers still. It's just, they got it. What do you think about a sidearm knuckle curve? I mean, if you can throw it, you can throw it, but there's no reason to spike it if you're not going to be on top of it. Because when you throw knuckle curves, like we talked about this last week. When you throw knuckle curves, the reason that you throw with a knuckle is so you can get this finger out of the way to get the tumble. You want the ball to roll over this middle finger. If you're doing that from sidearm, you don't need to get this finger out of the way as much. So you don't need to spike it. It just probably lose command. And so you spike curveballs, and I went full knuckle, right, like that. But like most guys just do fingertip. When you spike curveballs, you're trying to get out of the way because you want it to do a tumbling action. But if you're throwing a sidearm knuckle curve, you're not having it tumble. You're throwing a sweeper. So I would highly recommend you just throw the sweeper like that or like that, and just rip the shit out of it sideways like that. Please tell you Dodgers before because it's true because Aaron Judge forgot how to hit a baseball. I will. We are going to discuss this at nauseum, guys. I'll tell you a little bit about what today is gonna feature. So, really quick, we're gonna go from 1 to 3. So we're doing a 2-hour show today. When the format gets adjusted for the show, when I'm in my studio and I'm like standing and we have different stations, it's going to be more of a produced show, at least for an hour. An hour of it will be more of a produced show that's kind of more rigid. I'm going to be reading chat the whole time. So just remember, this is going to be a stream first and foremost all time. So like me being able to read chat intimately is really important. When that happens, all right, when that happens, I'll have more of a structured way to do things. But for now, we're just going to let people filter in for the first 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get into the chatting and stuff. So there's going to be like lots of AMA in that thing. There's going to be people coming on as guests. Saris has said he would love to. Brent Rooker's in. Like, you're going to get players, going to get all kinds of people. And we're going to talk about the relevant stuff over this over the winter is when that's going to get upgraded. It's not going to change at all, but we're going to go in that 2-hour window. When that happens, it's going to be a pretty tight 2 hours with some extra stuff around it. But 2 hours is kind of the goal. And right now, it's 2 hours today because Kate is in school right now. She has an intensive, so it's online school for vast majority. It's in counseling and therapy. But like once a semester, they go down to Colorado where the school is located, and they do it in person. She just had a baby 4 weeks ago. So she got exempt. So she's doing this remotely, but she needs to be like locked in all day. So we have my mother-in-law here for this show. But right after the show's over, I got to go be dad for the rest of the day so the Kate can do her thing. So that's why I got to keep it tight today. So bear with me. All right. You thought Brent was in New York? Oh, Brent's not coming on today. When the season's fully over, Brent's going to come on. He's going to be my AJ Hawk, if that makes sense. But yes, he's in New York. He's covering the games, which I think is awesome. Go check Brent out. Brent's really good at this. Brent is really good at this. That's why we want to have him on. Freestyle watching from TikTok breakdowns. Love the content. Thanks, Tyler. Last name. Welcome in. You're going to see where they're all made. And if you have things you want to know, feel free to ask. But okay, so the quick rundown on today's show. And there's going to be a lot of time to answer questions, especially if you're like, what about this pitch? What about this pitch design? All that kind of stuff. We can do that. And currently right now where the show's set up, I can address those as we go. But our main thing is going to be talking about what has happened so far in the World Series, some of the main storylines and what my opinions on them are and why the Dodgers are up 2-0. And then looking forward to tonight, all right, Game 3. So tonight's game is going to be awesome. I think Clark Schmidt versus Walker Bueler is really interesting. And the tone needs to be set today. Going into today and tomorrow, these next two games are, obviously wildly important for so many reasons, but this is how Yankees can get back momentum if they pull the right strings here and put pressure where pressure needs to be put. So, and then Ohtani's injury, we'll talk about that because I myself have subluxated many of my joints in my time. I get to talk about super nerdy shit like hypermobility versus hypomobility, what that means, and why he's such a good athlete, all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to talk about why Aaron Judge isn't producing the way that you're used to him producing. And I have a brand new segment that I think you're going to really enjoy, and we're going to do it right out the gate here on the show. But I just realized that I have this in the wrong place. So I am going to change this really quick. I have to switch something over to this PC, so give me like 10 seconds. Tommy Edman carrying the Dodgers. He's going to be in there as well. So yeah. Does your gold card lifetime pass work for the playoffs? It does not. No. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, no. Only regular season games. And it stinks. Oh, sorry. I had my video I wanted to show you on this thingy mababa. And that's the wrong. So I want to drag it over. Ooh, excuse me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my God. Is it not here? No, it's here. Yes, it's here. Okay, cool. Got it. Put that on the desktop. I think. I don't know if anything's happening. One second. Yeah, it's there. Great. I don't know where it went. What is happening? Oh my God. Bro, where did it go? M. Is it over here? Where is it? Am I blind? Dude, you have to be kidding me. Where is it? I am baffled by myself on a daily basis. Got it. Cool. It's just dragged to the desktop, disappears. No idea where it is. Okay, we're back. Anyway, back to it. Have you checked the folder? Yes, I've checked the folder. I just put it in a different folder. All right. Woo! Woo! I found it. We were good. Everything's good. Chat, can you see your messages? Because I don't see them showing up as chat. Okay. Cool, dude. You're right. You aren't on the chat. What the hell? Okay, so the chat on the side of the screen over here, that's just Twitch. We are currently remedying this. The tools that exist for combined chats for YouTube and for Twitch suck. They're terrible. And I don't want to set them up and get them all like put everywhere on the computer because we're just basically I have a company I'm working with. We're working on the production for the new updates of the show, and they're building me some stuff from scratch. So it's going to be all proprietary for me, and it's going to work really well. So we're just going to wait for there. So if you guys want to see your things up on the chat, you got to do it on Twitch. Sorry, they're the only one. They're two different chats. So I'd have chats everywhere if I tried to do both. So I apologize. Do baseball players like to play baseball video games? Absolutely. To be honest, baseball video games are one of the main reasons I wanted to play professional baseball. MVP Baseball 05, shout out. I was a freshman in high school. That was a big one then. Yeah, cool, dude. I don't know why. I don't see you. Maybe it's super delayed. Not a lot of people aren't showing up. It's weird. Oh, here you go. Yeah, you're not there. I don't know. I don't know why you're not popping up. That's weird, man. I don't know why that is happening. You're okay. You're okay. You're not in trouble. You should play MLB The Show. I've played a lot of MLB The Show. Anyone who's been here on Twitch knows MLB The Show's in. And yes, in the off season, we can go and create a team in MLB The Show. I like to do that. I like to do a team full of created players and just edit players and stuff and run a franchise like that. It's the way I like to play the game, and we make up stories and shit about it. Or maybe we'll just do a road to the show. I'm not a huge DD guy because it's just honestly it's boring. It's boring competing all the time. I like to get creative with it. And if a new Backyard Baseball comes out, we're definitely doing that. Are you ever going to get a card in MLB The Show? I had a card for 9 years. So I have a Player of the Month diamond card, bro. What are you talking about? Yeah, MVP was probably a big one. Sammy Sosa, High Heat 2001 was big. Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball was big. Backyard Baseball was big. Slugfest was big. The 2K ones all sucked. Yeah, High Heat was huge for me, man. You need one now, though? No, you don't. If you had a recent one, it'd be like I think my last card was like a 71 overall, which is ugly. Backyard Baseball came out 3 weeks ago. Maybe that'll be our first gaming stream back. We will add some gaming streams back in. We'll just do that on Twitch for you. So anyone who wants to watch the gaming stuff, we might go live on Twitch for that. All right. Ooh, Triple Bay Baseball. It's pretty good. Triple Play was okay, but that was Sony, right? Like I didn't have PlayStations until I was an adult. I was all like Xbox or Nintendo. What are your predictions on how the rest of the series goes? We are about to get into that, Woods. Thank you for asking. Okay. I want to introduce you guys to a new segment, a new show, a new thing. I think you'll think it's pretty interesting. But we're going to start by let me explain what you're going to be looking at. All right. Let me pause this. Holy shit. Pause, please. All right. I don't want you to see it yet. Let's make this full screen. Like that. All right. This is a new segment I call Mistake or Outplay. Mistake or Outplay. Welcome in. All right, guys. I prepared this for you. What I'm going to be doing is taking the 9 most impactful hits of the World Series so far. That's from Game 1 and Game 2. We are going to see where the pitch was thrown in relation to the heat maps for the hitter and how they handle that type of pitch. For example, this is Giancarlo Stanton. This is how he hits right-handed curveballs for his last 600 at-bats. So, think about mistake, meaning did you hit your spot? Did you throw it to a place that they can? Did they hit a pitch that they don't always hit really hard, or did you throw it in the red? Right? So, that would be considered a mistake, because even if you have the target somewhere and it's in the red and you hit it and then they crush it, that's a mistake in your game plan anyway. So that's also a mistake. Or did you throw to the blue and they hit it anyways? That's an outplay. That's the hitter outplaying you. Did the pitcher make a mistake, or did the hitter outplay the pitcher? Because at the end of the day, the pitcher is the one engaging the activity. The pitcher is the one is making it happen, right? So, cool new segment, mistake or outplay, and we're gonna do this in chronological order from the first hit. Then these are impactful hits. These are not every hit, though we probably could have done every hit. But these are like the big hits that either positioned to score a run or put them in a position to like tie the game or something. So this is like really, really, really cutting edge stuff. So I went and I got these overlays for you, added them. Anyone who watched my alternate broadcast for Sunday Night Baseball, this is very similar to what that was. So I went back and I prepared this stuff for you. So we're going to go through, we're going to watch it. I'm going to get your opinion. What do you guys think it was? And we'll discuss it, and then we'll move on to the next pitch, all right? All right, thank you again, DJ BXYZ, for the Prime sub. Hey, anyone over there on Twitch, you can sub for free. If you have Amazon Prime and you haven't used your code or used your free sub, you have one, and it's free. Amazon pays for it. I know. They never do anything like that. It's crazy. It's the one cool thing they give their customers now. Isn't that great? Do you still have a decent chance or not? Yes, you have 3 games in Yankee Stadium. We're about to get into it, but we're going to do mistakes or not first, and then we will do a preview for the show for today's game. See? You see what I mean? Spence, thank you so much. Using your Prime sub. And then Jeff Steele's like, wait, I have that too. Let me use it. There's another Prime sub. Just got to use the Prime subs. Might as well use them here, especially if you never use Twitch. I appreciate it. I thank you very much. It's really kind of you. But obviously, guys, if you're just here, you're just hanging out, that's enough for me. Wink, ding. You're the greatest. Anyway, also, last thing. If you're on YouTube, hit the little thumbs up, please, so people can find it. I appreciate it. All right, cool. Here we go. This is the first. This is Giancarlo Stanton's home run in Game 1. Jack Flaherty comes home with a curveball. Let's see how it goes. Gets it down there, goes below the zone, down and in, and we see it fly away. What do we think? Was that a mistake or was that an outplay? I don't know about y'all, but I see a little red there. That looks like a mistake to me, playa. Look, we got red. We got red here. Also, this zone is a normalized zone, and see these zones in the back? Like the overlay, how it's like taller and longer of the one that's on TV. The reason they do that is they change it, like automatically changes by how tall the hitter is, but that's not the real strike zone. That's not how they call strikes and balls. It's just for the viewers. So this is the real one. That ball has to be in the dirt. It either has to be in the dirt or has to be away. You got to get it over here. Got to be over here. But it's a mistake because it's in the red. So the red is where he hits it hard. So a missed mistake. Yeah, absolutely. All right, next pitch. Also, Jack, not super happy about that. Neither am I. Also, if you're like, wow, that footage looks slow-mo and also kind of washed out, that's because Major League Baseball's advanced media division has decided that they would like to start putting copyright claims on my YouTube channel. So now I'm going to try to convince them that this is fair use by changing it in a lot of different ways. By the way, I made these overlays. These are mine, not theirs. These are mine. So there's something on the screen that is not theirs. I'm saying it one more time. This is fair use. That won't stop them from copyright striking me anyways. All right, let me hit some subs real quick. Spiderico, resubbed. Look at you. Jeff Steele, thank you, free subbed. And Berserk used the prime sub, guys. All you prime subs, thank you so much, guys. Okay. Moving on to the next pitch, we have Garrett Cole versus Kike Hernandez. This is the triple into the corner. And let's see. This is where Kike handles four-seam fastballs from righties in his last 600 at-bats. This is kind of going back into 2023 at the end, but it's the last 600 bats, including the playoffs. Up until the day of this game, this is what he hits. This is where he hits four-seam fastballs. Curveball, thank you for the sub. Midnight, thank you also for the sub. Look at all you guys. You guys are so awesome. All right, Garrett Cole goes here. Comes back with the four-seam fastball. Goes up and away above the zone. Kike jumps on it. Juan Soto takes a terrible route, which is a theme, which we will talk about again later. He runs around. He gets, what do you guys think? We think that's a mistake or that's an outplay? In my opinion, we have an outplay. He is not supposed to hit that pitch hard. Yet, he does. Yeah, a better right fielder catches that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but a better right fielder would take an angle knowing that they're not going to catch it because he really wasn't close. So that's an outplay. That's just a good piece of hit. And look, he's got his legs pointing to where he's going. He's trying to go oppo. He got the pitch. He's like, I'm going to look up and away fastball here. Went through the bat at it, and it's not a pitch he hits regularly. That was a good idea from Garrett Cole. It was the right plan, and he just got. He got him. That's an outplay. It's just good hitting. Sometimes you got to be like, great job. All right, next one. We have Michael Kopech versus Gleyber Torres. Yes, there was some fan interference, and anyone out there who thinks that wasn't fan interference is pretty much as clear as day that it wasn't going to be a home run. It's going to be a double off the wall. So they got the call right, in my opinion. But was it an outplay or was it a mistake? Let's see. Goes with this. He goes with the four-seam fastball. Gets it up and in. That's supposed to be an automatic safe, guys. You're supposed to be safe throwing it there. That's an outplay. That's great hitting, especially from Gleyber. That's not a pitch he ever handles. Look at all this blue. 99, bruh? Trav, what do you think Judge needs to fix about his approach to at the plate this series? Hang out a little bit longer, DJ, and we're going to get into it because after this segment, we're going to talk about that and many other things as we preview the series. All right? Does his general pitches on inside matter? It does, right? It does, right? In is obviously better than away for Gleyber, but you're supposed to be safe throwing up and out of the zone, up and in at 99. For him to get there, no one would have expected that. I gave up a homer to Ty France there, and he's never had a hit there. So, this is one of those. Tip the cap, you got outplayed. Good piece of hitting out of Gleyber. So, him and Kike, these last two ABs, just good ABs. Next up, Yankees fans, you may want to close your eyes. I apologize. But this is Freddie Freeman versus Nestor Cortez. This is Nestor Cortez's second pitch of the outing. His third batter, second pitch. And he comes in with a four-seam fastball. Let's see if he gets it. Now, where was he trying to go? Let's see where the target is. So Wells wants the pitch here. Is that a good idea? Yes. Great idea. 1,000 bits. Big fan of yours. Really enjoying the personal insights here. Really enjoying you being here. Thank you so much, Kimmy Guns. Appreciate the 1,000 bits. That's very nice of you. Also, Madsen says thank you for adding to his college fund. That's so nice. So they're trying to go here, right? That's a good play, especially lefties. Lefties going into Freddie. Freddie's got a bum ankle. He struggled to get in. We're trying to go here. Yikes. Yikes. Now, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. We've all had that. I thought about that when I was a kid. Like, dude, what an incredible moment for him. Not so much. I mean, I feel like that face tells it all. And I felt so crazy. I was like, dude, that's awesome for Freddie. And I feel so bad for Nestor at the same time. It was awful. It was awful and awesome. I'm like, that was the coolest thing ever. But also like, dude, you know, we're going to talk about that as well. But what do you guys think? Was that a mistake or an outplay? I think that was a mistake, my players. Down and into a lefty, don't do it. And guess what? Nestor seems to be aware of that. Let me turn this off for a second. Where's the chat? Judging by the look on Nestor's face, he knows it as well. Sad. Sad. Sometimes mistakes happen. That's a mistake. All right, next pitch. We're going to move on to the next game. This is game 2. Tommy Edman versus Carlos Rodon. Now, this is crazy. Look at Tommy's damage on four-seam fastballs from lefties. He hammers four-seam fastballs from lefties. Carlos Rodon's his default, watch where Wells sets up here. This right here, up and in, he wants to throw here to righties constantly. And then he wants to throw sliders off it. That's how he does it, and he throws changeups away. Those are his 3 options at all times. And let's see if he gets it there. Is that another prime example of a mistake? Probably not the best pitch to throw. I know it was 2-0. Probably not the best idea for a pitch. Tommy Edman's juice is going to be in, right? If you're going to throw a 2-0 pitch, go away. Don't let him pull it. That said, hindsight's 20/20. Rodon's very confident, as he should be. He's got electric stuff, but that was a mistake. He made a mistake. Pulled it down a little bit. If he would have got it up here, maybe it'd been okay. Pulled it down, just let him get to the barrel to it, and then he hit it to the shortest porch in the park. So, Kimmy Guns, 100 more bits. Nestor hadn't pitched in 37 days. Would you, as a fellow pitcher, been okay with that being thrust into a spot? I would have been okay with being thrust in the spot, but I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't the sharpest I'd ever been. So we'll talk about it. All right. I think that was another mistake made by the pitcher. And this kind of turns into a theme in this game. All right. Moving on to the next pitch. Juan Soto versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Obviously, this is four-seam fastballs from right-handed pitchers. Not a lot to work with here. See that pitch right there? That's the Hunter Gaddis homer. I just want you guys to know that little spot right there is Hunter Gaddis. But this is a prime example. Hunter Gaddis went up here because he knew this was here. So he made a good pitch and he got. Let's see if this is a missed spot, a missed plan, or if it's just he got him. Let's see. This is real well. I think that was a mistake. Little mistake. Pulled it down and then again. Where do we not throw lefties? Four-seam fastballs. There. That's a bad place, but that's not where he was trying to throw it. If we look, let's look at where the target is. They're trying to go down and away, and he just yanked it in. That would be called a mistake, boys and girls. All right, let's go on to the next one. Next pitch. Carlos Rodon versus, once again, Frederick Vivian Freeman. Mistake. Let's see. Trying to go up and in or up middle. I think this is an outplay. It's close, right? It's close. At that leaked more middle, I would be like, dude, what are you doing? But that's not a bad pitch. That's not a bad pitch. He does not handle that pitch that well. That's an outplay, an out-P, dude. This is a good spot. He should be throwing it here. That is where you can throw four-seam fastballs, and he just got him. sometimes you just run into guys who are like, I'm dialed in. You got nothing on me. Oh, wait. We got Teoscar facing a lefty, four-seam fastball. I don't know if you noticed this. He loves fastballs up from lefties. Loves them. Actually, he loves fastballs in general. Well, let's see if this is a mistake or an outplay. That's another mistake. Now, not all 3 home runs were a mistake. One was a tip of the cap. 2 of them were mistakes. He needed to avoid the one to Edman, in my opinion. He really needed to avoid that one. And that was a big one. He threw it to not a great zone. But you guys, to remember, like, knowing about this stuff and being able to do it is another thing. Like, he might be like, I'm not going to throw fastballs down, so I still have to challenge guys up. I just need to pick and choose my spots. And maybe he just chose too much. He's a guy, the way he pitches, homers are going to be part of his game. I am another person who gave up a lot of home runs for the number of innings I pitched, more above average. It's just because I was up in the zone constantly with fastballs, and my fastball was my best pitch most of the time. That's going to lead to home runs, which sucks. But at the same time, it's going to lead to crazy dominant numbers at times too, where no one can touch you. So it's a trade-off. All right. I believe we have 2 more pitches. We got the scariest human being on the planet besides the other guy on his team versus Blake Trinan. These are sinkers, right on right sinkers. Giancarlo Stanton hits sinkers. This outer edge he struggles with. Just if you can throw it over here in the zone all the time, best he's going to do is hit 117 away for a single. Sinkers are not great. You don't want stuff moving into him because he can scoop it. Let's see where this goes. Here's a sinker. That's a mistake. But again, I believe it was 3-1. It was either 3-1 or 3-2. You have to go there in that situation. And he just got him for a double. But he had thrown so many sweepers at that point, he needed to come back with a fastball. What do the pros use to watch film? A lot of people have their own internal platforms. This is called True Media. A lot of people use this as well, at least for this overlay. All right, and that's our last hit. That's our last hit, and it was a mistake. So what do we had? We had 3 outplays and 6 mistakes, and that just tells you pitchers have the advantage because the majority of hits given up are mistakes, meaning it's either they don't throw it where they want to throw it, or where they want to throw it is stupid. Like, those are the 2 mistakes I'm talking about, right? But sometimes, based on what you can do, I can only throw a sweeper away, and I can only throw a 4-seam up and away. Sometimes you're going to line up with a guy who only hits those things, and you just got to let it run, let it go. So, but I hope you enjoyed it. Mistake or outplay. I am working on a solution for possibly getting some overlays in real time. But let me know. How'd you guys like this? How do you guys like seeing this? Is this interesting? We can also start adding like the movement profile in those pitches, and like maybe the trail of the pitch and all kinds of stuff, if you're interested. If that's the type of thing you want added in. I just thought this was a nice first thing. So if you guys like this stuff, we will do it. We'll do it in season. We'll just pick 5-ish pitches per game, and then we'll do like a recap. And I'll do it. It'll go faster in the future. It'll go much faster in the future, especially if we have more pitches. But I just wanted to show you it for the first time. So I'm glad you liked it, and we'll figure out a way to do this moving forward in the future. Okay. Perfect timing. What do we got? We got Kimmy Guns again, 100 bits. Thank you so much. Let's get some love in the chat for Kimmy. Appreciate you. W. The awesome, and this is awesome, but I think the movement of the pitch would be sick. Cool. So what I actually am trying to do is I have some developer friends who have, one guy has a certification from Y Combinator in machine learning and computer vision. So like we're developing some models where like it watches a bunch of pitches, and I want to start getting some really good target data too on catchers, like how a catcher sets up and then how much the spots missed by, and then start to build some metrics using that. And because I have all the video, and then possibly build some stuff where, it grabs the metadata from the video and then grabs the overlay of the pitch. so I can get like the overlay next to it, and we can see where in the zone they hit that pitch, and they can be like next to each other. So if we just grab the video, then it'll automatically grab it. I don't have to go do it physically. So red, green. Is this thermal read? Okay, so red means, okay. So red usually means that's where stuff's happening. Blue means nothing's happening. So depending on what the stat is you're looking at. So if red and blue means something, an event happened, blue means didn't happen. So if it's WOBA, which this is, red means where the hitter is hitting it the hardest. And blue means where they're not hitting it or not hitting it hard, right? It's just the least hard. So it's less damage, most damage generally. So if this were miss, though, if this were swing and miss for pitchers, the pitcher would see red as good. I want to throw it to the red because that's where he misses, right? It just depends on what the filter is, what the type of event we're looking at is, and who it benefits. But red usually means the event happens. So whatever it's about, it benefits whoever benefits from the stat you're looking at. So misses can benefit a hitter, not benefit a pitcher. So red means bad for a hitter, good for a pitcher. And then here is red means good for a hitter, bad for a pitcher. You just got to know what those mean. So hot and cold zone, yes. So yes, hot, cold. You know, you guys may have seen this on like MLB The Show, right? Inside edge, this kind of stuff. And green's in the middle. Green and yellow is like average. Yes. By the way, on the printout of these, there's like a little scale, and the middle's like it goes like green, yellow, orange, red, and green and yellow is like 200, 400 plus is red, and 0 is blue. That makes sense. So yes, so just think of it like as the colors get warmer, it gets more likely that it'll produce a run. If that makes sense. It should make sense. You've heard that the K zone is not accurate. Can I show you what real zones look like for hitters and pitchers? Okay, so this is actually, this right here, I'll show you again. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. So this right here, see how this box is more of a square? So this is the rule book strike zone, right? So this is what they're going to try to do the auto umpiring off of. It's going to be smaller. The thing is, the K zone adjusts based on the size of the guy they have it adjusted. So like Stanton's gets big and then like Altuve's is small, and it's just to give you a reference, but it's not right on, and it adjusts. But the zones in real life don't adjust like that, or it's not supposed to. Obviously, there's going to be a little bias based on how big the dude is standing there. But like, so the zone doesn't adjust like it does on TV, especially with Fox. Fox is, but again, it's for the viewership. It's not for being entirely accurate. So we can't get super mad at umpires. But we can get mad at them if it's width. If they call it east and west, the width stays the same. It's the plate. So if they're calling stuff off the plate, that's on them. Up and down, though, that's you can say there's some gray area. Okay. Now let's discuss the series and what needs to happen moving forward, all right? So I'll let you guys, let's talk about, we got game 3 tonight. Let's talk about what happened in game 1 and 2 and what the main storylines are. And then how can the Yankees even this thing up, or at least get the momentum going in their direction and put themselves in a position to take a game or two so we can, because they got to do it at home. The Dodgers take one. They need to go and grab 3 is what they really need to do to put them back in the driver's seat. They got to win 3 in a row, which seems obvious. It kind of is obvious, but not necessarily what needs to happen. Okay. So I got 4 main subjects that I want to talk about that happened in game 1 and 2. I want you guys to pick which one you want me to go into first. We want to talk about the Ohtani injury. Do we want to talk about what's going on with Aaron Judge? Do we want to talk about the Soto's defense, or do we want to talk about the Tim Hill, Nestor Cortez decision? Which one of those things do you want me to start with? We're going to get to all of them. But which one do we want to start with? Write it in the chat. Thank you so much. You think short players will increase in value with auto umps going into effect? Maybe. Yeah, I thought Judge would be where you guys want to start. So let me pull up a little bit of Aaron Judge statistics for you. Kimmy Guns. 100 more bits. All the love in the world, Kimmy. I hope you're doing really well. This is really kind and very, very appreciated. Thank you so much. Weaver not pitching the 10th. Didn't he pitch the... that's not what the problem was. That would have been 2+ innings. You don't want to do that in game 1. You just don't want to do that in game 1. All right. I'm going to put in playoff. Actually, you can watch me do this. All right. We're going to talk about Aaron Judge. What's going on with Aaron Judge? We talked about this a lot in the... we talked about this a lot on the radio yesterday. So if you didn't catch that on Sirius XM, please go check that out. Danny and I talked about it ad nauseum. But this is slugging. We just want to talk about, let's just do WOBA, okay? It does actually, that's a lie. What I want to know is his swing and miss. So this is his swing and miss rate for all the playoffs on every pitch. Okay? This is the swing and miss for the whole playoffs on every pitch right here. Miss rate, only playoffs, tons of the bottom zone, a lot of chasing, okay? He mentioned in an interview, I'm just chasing too much. I'm just chasing too much. So we want to go zone location. So how this works is in the zone, out of the zone, which I like. I go out of the zone, and this is all of the pitches that were thrown out of the zone. Look at all these he's missed. He has swung at every single one of these. I believe, what was the stat? Of the 59 swings he's taken in the last 5 games, which is a lot of swings, he has missed 32 times, which is a lot. But why is he missing so much? We broke him down a couple weeks ago. We talked about how he makes guys pay for their mistakes better than anyone I've ever seen. Let me go sort this for misses. Just only pitches he missed. We can see exactly where they all are. Where the hell is it? Pitch result, miss. There we go. Okay, so these are only misses. These are all of his swings and misses outside of the strike zone in the playoffs. This is in the strike zone. He's got a lot there too. This is out of the zone. Okay? Are you noticing something? He's only missed 1 up, but he missed all this stuff down. This little dotted line here is called the shadow zone. So basically, tons of these are like kind of coin flips for strikes or balls. How Aaron Judge operates, so how Aaron Judge operates is he is so intimidating because he's so big. Okay? What that produces are mistakes. So he gets lots of guys who are like, oh, I have to be like super fine with my breaking ball down and away, or he'll take it. Like if it's not in the zone, he'll take it, and if it's in the zone, it needs to be on the edge because if I hang it, it's crushed. So it's like you're either gonna throw a ball if it's out of the zone, you got to be perfect, or you're gonna hang it for a homer. So like at the end of the day, guys are like would rather miss really badly off the plate than miss down the middle. Duh, that's a good trade-off. The difference here is he is no longer taking those close pitches. He is swinging at them, and that is putting him behind. And what did we say last time we broke him down? He is a different player when he's behind in the count versus when he's ahead. Night and day. He hits like 850 when he's ahead in the count in the regular season. It's crazy. It's insane how good he is. But what he's doing is he's getting himself behind by not taking those close pitches like he usually does. It's that simple. He's just not taking the shadow zone pitches anymore. He's swinging at them. And by the way, if he did that in the regular season, he would whiff a lot more than he does because he whiffs a lot. He swings and misses a lot. He always does. It's above average. It's always been above average. It's just when he doesn't, it's an automatic hit. And that's what's gone away. He's not taking the edge pitch. He's not taking it anymore. And as you can imagine, these are breaking balls. These are almost exclusively breaking balls. So not only is he not swinging it, he's taking all these breaking balls, and where do those breaking balls tunnel at? They tunnel up here. So he's taking fastballs up. He's taking fastballs in the zone that are kind of middle and then swinging at the pitch that's on the edge. Now, we have to give some credit about how he's being pitched. Not many guys are making a ton of mistakes, and he has gotten a few, and he's made a couple pay, but he hasn't made him pay at a rate he usually works at. But he's still just not getting a lot of mistakes because he is swinging outside of the zone enough to where guys feel more comfortable throwing a pitch because it doesn't need to be perfect. When people think they need to be perfect to Aaron Judge, that is when he is the best. I can say that from experience. And right now, people don't feel like they have to be perfect to him. But pay attention to this. So what do I want you to look for tonight? If Aaron Judge goes up and he takes any of these pitches that he's missed down here, any of these, anything in this area, right, that's close, but he takes it in a mid count or like a first pitch, like spits on it, I would get excited. If he gets a walk on a close pitch, 3-1 pitch down and away, it's just off the zone that much, he takes the walk and lets Stanton come up, now he's inserting himself back into the game, and now guys are going to feel a little bit more tight against him, but right now they're really loose against him because he's chasing. Is he not picking up spin? He never has really picked up spin. It's not pitch recognition, and it's not approach. It's not approach. He's pressing because he's the captain of the Yankees in the World Series. He's pressing. So he's swinging at pitches that he wouldn't have swung at before, but it's not like they're terrible. He didn't just turn into Javi Baez, guys. He still doesn't chase into the batter's box. They're just like this close to being a strike, but they're balls, and he's swinging at them. A lot of them. Doesn't he have the biggest advantage? Oh, and he also has a big disadvantage there as well. But him swinging at it kind of gets rid of that. It doesn't matter at that point. If you're swinging at it, it doesn't matter. You have to take it just to see. And I don't think that's a big factor in the playoffs. I don't think he's had a ton called on him, but he is going to have more called than others because he is so big. You're right. That is going to. It happens to Ohtani too. Same thing. He gets low balls called because he's so big. So he walked 130 times this year. He's walked only once or twice. And he hasn't walked very much in this playoffs. So, but I know that's not sexy. But I wouldn't expect him to come out unless Bueller's just throwing everything right down the middle, right? If Bueller's terrible or is really struggling with command and just serves some up for him and he gets those, yeah, get pumped about that. But in terms of approach, if you see Aaron Judge start to take those close pitches or foul them off even, and just make the pitcher have to be like, oh, I need to be more fine. As soon as he establishes that the pitcher needs to be more fine again, he's going to do something. Now, I don't think he's going to just magically become, figure it out and be amazing, but he has gotten out of that approach. And he's got someone protecting him in the back. So, he's getting more pitches to hit because they don't want to face Stanton right now. So, yeah. But it's not as big. It's not as big of an adjustment as you think it is. It's just as soon as he takes some close pitches for balls, and the pitcher goes, "That was close, but I didn't get it." He's gonna if you see that, but if he's still swinging early, trying to make things happen, force things into happening, then we're gonna get more of the same Aaron Judge. All right, you're gonna have to hope Soto carries it. All right, there's the Aaron Judge. That's what we need for him to do better in order to get the Yankees back in. What else do we need the Yankees to do to get back in? All right. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about number 2, Juan Soto's defense. Now, I want your opinion. How do you guys feel about his quality of defense has been in this series so far? Yankees fans, how do you feel about the Juan Soto defense? Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. Play better defense than left. Yeah. I'll be honest. Okay, so let me just speak from this standpoint. You can't catch what you can't catch, right? You only are as good as you are at defense. However, there was a ball that dropped between them last game between him and Rizzo. Rizzo, who's looking around like, why did I just have to run 75 miles just for a ball to drop between me and the right fielder? When I'm a pitcher and I look, I'm like, dude, could you at least sprint? So it didn't look good, okay? Kike's triple. He took a route directly to where the ball was going to land, and he had no chance of catching that. Not only that, it's a righty. So righties hit that ball. It slices like in golf. I know there's golfers here. If a righty hits a ball like that, it's going to fade away. It just is. It's hard to hook a ball away and get it to go curve that way. So it's going to run away from you. And Soto's not the fastest guy on the planet, right? So he kind of run at it. He didn't cut it off. He needed to cut it off in the corner, and that turned into a stand-up almost in the Parker, but a stand-up triple. Easy, right? Now we're a sack fly away when you could have kept him at second. That's big. You need to prevent the doubles from becoming triples. That was another one. Also, the pitch that Rizzo actually caught. Where was Soto? Like, that's Soto's ball to catch. And it's getting dicey out there, okay? It's getting dicey. It just doesn't look like he's... I know he's trying really hard. It's the World Series. It just doesn't look like it does. And that would, if I were the pitcher, I'd be like, at least we can do is like lay out, right? Get there as best we can. And I don't think that he has done that. However, he did hit that homer. And maybe he's checked out a little bit, or it looks like he's checked out a little bit on offenses. And I picked up on that. If I were a pitcher on his team, I would be like, you're an amazing player, brother. Show us all 5 tools, right? Not just one, please, right? Also, another piece of defense that it's funny. The Yankees are making like true errors. They're just sloppy, okay? And then Ohtani hits the double off of Canely. What surprise? Changeups only to Ohtani. That's not going to work, right? Hits it off the wall, and then they throw the ball in, trying to get him at second, and Glaber kind of like swipes at it and knocks it up in the air and gives him the extra base. Again, what happens? Sac fly scores him. You could have avoided that run. These two things are important, and they're momentum shifting, and you don't want to give the home team any momentum. So now we're going to see, how does the fielding affect the Dodgers in Yankee Stadium? Because it'll be similar. So those things are just like, they were not necessarily like, oh, you messed up, but it was just like, it just looked sloppy. It looked a little bit, there wasn't a lot of attention to detail. And for like a team that has Anthony Rizzo at first, who all he is attention to detail, it rubbed me wrong a little bit. Like, dude, you guys aren't stepping up the same way that the Dodgers are right now. Like, least you could do, right? All right, so that's what I'm going to say about defense. You gotta just give me the effort. And I think that everyone can just handle maximum effort, even if the plays aren't made, the plays aren't made. You are only as good as mistakes happen. You're only as good as you are. But the least you could do is give me everything you got, because we're in the last series of the year. This is it. There's nothing after this. So, Ohtani. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani and his subluxated shoulder. Shohei Ohtani, subluxated his left shoulder, thank God, which is his extension arm when he swings, okay? Can you speak to Mike McCrite as a coach? I hated that guy. Mike McCrite sucked. I'm just kidding. Mike is the man. He made me who I am today. I really enjoyed having him as my coach. All right. So subluxation is different than dislocation, okay? Dislocation is when your humerus, this arm, this bone in your arm, comes out of your shoulder socket completely and needs to be helped in by an outside source. So someone's got to push it in. You see it in football sometimes. Guys go, oh, got to get my shoulder back in. That's not what happened. When you get dislocated, you never know what the internal damage is going to look like until the inflammation goes down. So that's dicey. Subluxation is it comes partially out and it goes right back in. So it's like you just get jarred. You go, and then everything tightens up to try to protect it. So I've had it happen. I have it happen on my knees when I was growing up constantly. My knees would just subluxate on themselves because I was growing so fast. It was awful. They would lock in place, and I would have to straighten them out and pop them in. They would just be partially out, and then they would hurt for 3 days, and then I'd be okay. So when that happens, you get inflammation. Inflammation is going to cause a pain. But you got an MRI, you got all the imaging, the X-ray, and everything. There's no damage. So like tendons all hold your shit together. If they get stretched out too much, you can tear some stuff. Nothing was torn. So what they're going to do is give him a shit ton of prescription ibuprofen and Toradol, playa, and he's just going to go hit. That's what's going to happen. Here's some pills. We're going to put you on the game ready and the ice and the Mark Pro and all the other crap. We're going to get that inflammation out of there and let you go. And maybe we don't steal anymore. You get some vitamin T, playa. So his labrum could be compromised, yes. But like, again, they looked and they didn't find a tear. Again, there's a lot of inflammation, though. But you can get inflammation out with the good. So don't be surprised if he comes out and he looks pretty much normal. It's really interesting. It's going to be interesting on how his swing looks. I'm going to be paying really close attention to it tonight. But having him in that lineup and having pitchers have to get ready for him, even if he's not 100%, he's not actually doing anything, they're still going to have to try to pitch around him. They're not going to know. And that's a wild card that they wish they didn't have to deal with, the Yankees, and they do. Okay? So he will steal again. He shouldn't, but he will. Nothing compared to Trevor Story's shoulder injury this season. Yes, his was a dislocation. But we'll see. Will swing seam be down? My guess will be yes, but he's also Shohei Ohtani. So shits. What do I think about the Yankees starting Trevino over Wills? I think you got to switch something up. Austin Wells strikes out way too much, and he's like 6 for 85 or some shit. He's hitting like 050 in like a month. That's not good. No good. All right. All right. Last thing. Tim Hill or Nestor Cortez in the 10th inning again to face Freddie Freeman. Who do you choose? Chat. Who should he have chose? Would I move Judge down or not? No, I'm going to keep Judge at 3 because if you put him behind Stanton, then there's no one to protect him behind. So then he's going to get less pitches to hit. But if you keep Stanton there, he's still going to be getting the same types of pitches. He just needs to execute. So you don't want to make him getting pitched tougher. You want him to get pitched less tough because there's someone scary behind him. Weaver, you wanted Weaver to go out for a 3rd inning to face Freddie Freeman? That's easy to say, but dude, relievers go out for the 3rd inning. It's not what you think it is. He's not automatic, man. You don't go throw your reliever. You don't go throw your closer 3 innings in game 1. You just can't. Up downs. It's not about pitches. Up downs. It's not about pitches. Up downs. Also, like, the bases were loaded, right? So who knows if he would even got to Freeman. But like, what you're doing is you're putting him out there. He's going to be much diminished in the 3rd inning. And then if it still blows up on you, then you just use your closer for way too much. Better than the guy that hadn't pitched in a month to Cousins? Is it, though? Based on what? So I guess, here's how it comes down to, and I want you guys to know what went into this decision. First of all, I commend Aaron Boone for just owning it. He's like, you know what? We made the decision. It was the best decision we could have made, and it did not work out. And I still stand by it. I still think there is a world where that could have worked out, and it just didn't. And that's it. It's not like Tim Hill was an automatic. However, we talked about this on Rates and Barrels the other day. Tim Hill is the most unique left-handed pitcher in the league. He's the lowest slot by far. And if you're trying to face and I understand this is for Shohei. So, right, they were getting ready for Shohei. They didn't want Shohei to beat them. But Tim Hill he's fresher. He keeps it simple and he's funky enough, and he's been pitching well. I would have went on the guy who I know is sharp right now and not the starter. Like, there's just too many variables. And then a guy who hasn't pitched in the playoffs yet, so that he hadn't dealt with adrenaline yet, right? So there's just a lot of that. But again, none of that's quantifiable. None of that's based on numbers. So they were just going on their information that they had. They made the best decision. It didn't work out. So that's what I'm saying. I would have went with Tim Hill and just said, we have to. You're our best lefty option, and Nestor, like, it's just not this is not how he pitches. He doesn't pitch like a guy gets one guy out. He pitches like a starter. So it's like, he might not have had his stuff. And see, the thing is, there's no way to know if he's going to have it or not, Branch, either, because he's only thrown live VPs, right? So we know what Tim Hill has. We don't know what Nestor has, and that would give me pause. But I think that there's merits to both arguments, but I would have went with Tim Hill. It's hindsight's 2020. But like, I just feel bad for Nestor because there's just a lot to work through there, and for that to happen that way, his confidence is gone. It's gone. Too many analytics and no common sense. I mean, not too much analytics. I don't think it's fully based on it's not fully based on the matchups. There's just, you didn't have many options. They just thought the repertoire with him and Tim Hill only throws fastballs. So it's like, we know he only throws fastballs. We know this guy crushes fastballs. I just can't in good conscience put a guy out there whose repertoire lines up horribly with him, no matter how fresh he is. We got to go with the guy who can throw different shit. And I get it. That made sense. But me knowing what it's like to be a bullpen guy, knows how hard it is up here. And I think that was also a factor. Throw down and into pit lefty like that. Yeah, Corey. And we remember look back. They were trying to go up and in. So I think the intention was there. It was just not. It just didn't go. It didn't go as planned at the end of the day. So I would say I think that both decisions could have worked. I think that either way it could have worked. And I don't think there's enough of a discrepancy between the two to not worry about it. So I would default for the guy who's fresher, who's like been in it longer, because I know how much the pressure has to do with playoffs. But that's me being a bullpen guy. Aaron Boone was not a bullpen guy. So he went with the guy and what he'd seen just generally pitching. And that's another, you have a reason, you did it, and that's it. All right. Was the pitch not thrown on the outer part of the plate? No, it was thrown down and in. He was trying to go up and in and go down and in. So yeah, I think you could go either way, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't fully fault them there. All right. Now, can the Yankees come back? Can they? I'm asking. Can they? Let me pull up paint. We're gonna write some stuff on we're gonna do this in our janky ass way real quick. What do the Yankees need to do? Do the Yankees need to do to come back? What do the Yankees need to do to come back? With 3 E's in need, guys. Look at us. I love that I can't reselect this once I put it down, which is so cool. It's my favorite part about this program. What do they need to do? You think the series goes back to LA? Oh, does it? It goes 2-2-2-1. Or does it go 2-3-2 in the World Series? Yeah, no, because the Dodgers have to have the last game because they had the best record. They're the higher seed. Yeah. So there's 3 games in the Yankees, in Yankee Stadium. 2-3-2. I got you. All right. Does Cole do game 4 no matter what? Cole throws game 4 if they're down 3-0. Yeah, it's 2-3-2. Yeah. It's also across the country. That'd be shitty. 2-3-2 makes sense. I feel like there was a point in the past where they did it the other way. All right. One thing they need is Judge to work at bats. He doesn't necessarily need to hit everything and like produce and do everything like he thinks he does. He doesn't need to do that. He just needs to work his at bats and let Soto and Stanton continue to pick up the slack with him on base. If he does that, he will then start producing with his bat. So he needs to work at bats. All right. What they need to do tonight: Rays, Bueller. How do you spell Bueller? That works. Pitch count quickly. Not and then also the pen. So the key here with the Dodgers having a bullpen game tomorrow is they need to. It doesn't matter if I'm not looking for them to go put up a 10 spot on Walker Bueller. That'd be great, but they don't have to do it. What they need to do is put up a couple runs on him, get him out of the game quickly, and make them roast their goddamn pen the whole game, right? So they need to win the game, obviously, but they also need to roast the pen and get Bueller out as quickly as possible so that they can get them in a bad position for tomorrow. That's how you grab 2 games from this team. That's how you do it, all right? So, raise Bueller's pitch count quickly. He has not been like consistently sharp all year. He had a good start last time, but he still only went 4. So, like, the best they're going to look for is 5 out of him. If Bueller gives them 5, then they're like, yes, right? So, they're going to be relying so heavily on the pen in the next 2 days that you need to you need to push on that bruise and just poke it. Poke the shit out of that bruise. All right. Someone mentioned this earlier. Jazz needs to be a weapon. Jazz needs to be a weapon that people are worried about. And I don't think they quite are. But at least get on base, because Will Smith ain't throwing him out and nobody's holding him on. So at least get on base. He can be the energy. Okay. He just needs to get on base. He doesn't need to hit a bunch of homers. Unfortunately, his big thing is swing as hard as you can all the time. So I don't know. But if you can get Walker Bueller out, but he did go throw in Citi Field in a hostile environment, right? So like, it's not like he knows how to do this stuff. No, I would not move Judge down the lineup because that doesn't protect him any more than he's in the perfect spot right now to get going. You don't need to move him. It's not going to help. He's not going to get better. Guys are pitching him. They're going to pitch him the same way. They might pitch him even better if he's lower in the lineup. He just, there's no way to hide him that way and get him better pitches to hit. It wouldn't work that well. All right. So Jazz needs to be a weapon as well. And the back end needs to produce at back end of lineup. So we need something. We need something out of Rizzo, out of Volpe, and out of Trevino. Trevino. We know we need one of those three guys to do a little bit something today. They have to win today. All right. Hot take, but lead Soto off. Glaber's doing a great job. Glaber, Soto, and Stanton are all great. They're in great positions. Don't mess up what they're doing to try to get Judge going. It's what Judge is swinging at, not how he's being pitched. It's what he's doing with what he's being pitched. He's always been pitched like this, but he needs to make them be in the box more. He's just not doing it. That's not just going to magically happen if he's batting fifth. He's protected right now by Stanton. So if he's not protected by Stanton, it might even be harder, right? Then you just walk Judge and get to, Verdugo. Like, I'd rather them have to walk Soto to get to Judge than walk Judge to get to frickin' Trevino, That's how they get back. They need these things to happen because their bullpen's ready to go. Their bullpen's throwing well. Their bullpen's still doing a good job. And if they can get 5 out of Schmidt, they'll be in a good position. They just need to have the lead, and they need to get Bueller out of the game, and they need to roast the bullpen that comes in after him. They need to use everybody. They need to make them use everybody, so they have to think about what they're doing tomorrow. That is the key to the Yankees coming back in the series. But I do believe they can. I have the Yankees winning in 7, which hurts my heart. I'm not supposed to like them. But also, it's a win-win, right? Like, if I don't really want them to win or whatever, if I'm rooting against them, whatever, then and the Dodgers win, then I'm like, cool. But if the Yankees win, then I was right. So it's a win-win. Right? Oh, yeah. And let's let that crisp, tighten up. But do I think all of these things are going to happen? I do. I think the Yankees win today. I think it's a 2-1 after today. I think Clark Schmidt throws a quality outing. I think they take an early lead on Bueller. I think Bueller has a crooked inning happen somewhere. I bet you there's a 3 or 4 run inning in there somewhere. Because he's just not as sharp as he's been. And also, like, the pitch, his repertoire he was using to get the Mets doesn't work as well against the Yankees. But if Aaron Judge does anything this game, I think the Yankees win it and we get back. You think the Dodgers lefties give Schmidt trouble? Yeah, I think so. I think that, but the thing is, who are the Dodgers lefties, right? We got Freddie. Freddie's the one for Freddie and Ohtani are banged up an undetermined amount, so we don't know. I don't know what Ohtani's going to have. That's going to make a big difference. And then Tommy Edman doesn't have near the juice he has left-handed that he does right. Not even close. Did you face Stanton? I did. It is terrifying. You throw a pitch to him and you flinch. Now Muncy's interesting. I think Muncy versus Schmidt. I don't want to see Max Muncy if I'm Clark Schmidt. I think that's the wild card. I think Max Muncy versus him is the big one for me, which is interesting with the other two. But like we know how good they are. Max Muncy's a wild card though. Bueller hangs a curve and Stanton hits it 1,500 feet. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking at. We'll see. Yankees need to match the Dodgers' energy if they win. Yeah, 100%. Oh, Freddie's tough against everybody, but yeah, Schmidt's a lot of cutters, a lot of sliders, a lot of like sinkers. Like he doesn't match up well against these guys. So, I would expect who puts up a crooked number at the beginning. Crooked number is like 3 or more runs usually, and then how does the other team respond? Who gets the lead quickly, and then can they get the starter out for the Dodgers quickly for the Yankees? They just need to do it. So Schmidt needs to come out throwing strikes out of the gate. And if he gets a clean top, I'm feeling good about the Yankees. But I would love to see a Yankees win tonight. I would love for it to be close and be fun. But like maybe a Luke Weaver ends it, and we're going to the next day 2-1. Because at the end of the day, I do want this to go 7 games. That said, I'm going to try to go do Game 5 on Wednesday. Wednesday Game 5 watch party if we still have the game. God forbid we have a sweep here. That would suck. So no cutters down and into zone to Muncy. Yeah, unfortunately. That's all Schmidt really does. So you definitely pull Clark before the third time through. If it's tied, if you're behind, yes. Don't trust me. Him and Bueller are not going to face these guys 3 times. They better have a lot. Like they got to be up by 6 or something if that happens. Yankees 96 come back? Maybe. Did you guys know that John Smoltz was on that team? Think the short porch changes the pitch approach? No, it doesn't. You know why? Because Dodgers is short porched right as well. It's not different enough. Also, pitchers can't really, or hitters maybe, but pitchers don't think about that stuff too much because it just doesn't matter. Like it's not different enough. Like it's not like the Polo Grounds. Like if at the Polo Grounds, you're like, guys, you can't pull it, right? You just can't pull it. It's not going to go out. You just can't. No matter what you do, it won't go out. Then you change your approach. But like maybe to left in Camden now, but other than that, like you just got to do your thing. When Schmidt's on, he's living in the corners. That's the thing. We got to see what kind of command he has. Just want to know how Freddie bad ankle hit 2 bounce. Well, he had a bad ankle and then he had 5 days off. Guys, he had 5 days off. That could be huge for an ankle sprain. Oh, that's a whole another week. He's probably feeling a lot better. The winds usually blow right to left. I didn't know that. Interesting. So much Percocet, not Percocet. Toradol, dude. Trevor, did you ever have a one-pitch save like Vestia? I have. I have had a one-pitch save. It's great. It's the best. It's the best. There's nothing like it. It was like 1 a.m. It was like in the 13th inning. It sucked. Everything he throws is big movement. Exactly. So Clark Smith's been walking dudes, right? He's walked dudes. Walks are his thing. So let's see what he can do. But he's at home. And then also, how's the Yankees fan base going to dial in here? I'm excited about it. I still think it goes 7. I think the Yankees respond tonight. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be a blasty McBlasty. And, who knows? Maybe Tommy Edman hits another homer and we're like, dude, what is happening? This guy is incredible. But if I'm the Yankees, got to just make sure that we're only getting outplayed and we're not making mistakes. Right, guys? How many pitches would you throw in a typical warm-up for a relief outing? Probably anywhere from 12 to 15 in the pen and then 6 before I went in the game. Like out on the field. He got ankle that was supposed to be take 46 weeks. He got on it in 7 days. Yeah. It's hard to get ahead of it when that's the way, but then he had 5 days off, so. If Judge continues to offer, do you think the fans boom again? I think that's a very good assumption. There's a very good chance of that. Also, I had a question from the community in Discord, guys. If you're not in the Discord, make sure you're in there. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you freaking hit like the thumbs up. Thanks. Also, game focus fuel. Buy it. What was I saying? Oh, Discord. Okay, I had a question in Discord from the community. From Doyers Ill. With the passing of one of my favorite players, that's Valenzuela, Jose Valenzuela, and Brett Honeywell on the World Series. Can you tell us more about the screwball, the grip, how it's thrown, why is it really bad for your arm, etc., etc.? Yes, I can. Where'd my baseball go? Oh, sure. Found it. All right. This right here is an example of a screwball grip. So like, everyone throws them differently. You can also like lay your finger basically like right here, like on the inside of that seam right here, right? And then you like turn it all the way here. So like you throw it and you go and extend. Basically what you're doing is you're releasing it when you're already in. This is pronation. This is supination, pronation, supination, pronation, right? So everyone, like, if you're a supinator, you release in supination, but then when you release it, you still pronate. It's just when you pronate. So, like, I couldn't pronate a ton, but your arm naturally does that. Like, everyone pronates. It's just at what point in the chain are you pronating and at ball release. So, Brett Honeywell is releasing, the ball is like here when he's releasing it. Like, it's rolling off of his fingers. So it spins almost like a left-handed slider, okay? The reason it can be bad on your arm is if you try to pronate too much, what you're doing is you're jarring yourself into extension. So your arm is straightening out in like an abrupt way, which can create a bunch of stress in the outside tendons. This is like where Brent Rooker had surgery in the outside. That's where they get it a lot. And that's why it hurts. Sometimes you get stress reaction in the bone because it flexes and then twists back real fast. So the reason screwballs aren't really popular is because pronating that much is really hard. But like Brett Honeywell can do it. Devin Williams can do it. There's not that many. So if you can throw that pitch really quality and that's your natural arm motion, Jose Valenzuela, then you can throw it all the time. And then it can be a unique pitch by itself. But that's why everyone doesn't throw one. Fernando, not Jose. Sorry, Fernando. My bad. Who am I thinking of? Who's Jose Valenzuela? Jose. Am I thinking of El Duque? Who am I thinking of? Fernando. Meant Fernando. My fault. Jose Lima? Maybe. He threw a screwball. Jose Lima did throw a screwball, but that's not what I'm thinking about. The splitter basically replaced it. It's a version of it. Also, throwing a screwball tends to be really slow. And right now, pitching is just the... Okay, so I'm about to talk about John Smoltz for a second, okay? So this all makes sense. Let me just comment. Let me just filter some of the things that he says, because he seems like he's really frustrated at times, right? By the lack of push and pull. So movement is classified by two things, right? When you're throwing a baseball, you're in 3D space. So there's X and there's Y. There's up and down. Cool. That's one movement. But there's also Z, how close or far away. So that's a difference in velocity. We, as a group of people who design pitches, can't quantify the effectiveness of change in velocity as well as we can the other two. So the other two are teachable. The change in velocity is harder to teach, so people don't focus on it as much. Also, the effect of that is harder to quantify than the other types of movement. So, like, you can't tell how effective a difference in velocity will be for a guy until he goes out and does it. You can't predict it, and that's why they don't do it as much. So, John Smoltz thinks about this a lot. It's very clear that changes in velocity were a big part of how he approached guys. Like, he really, really was frustrated by Canely and the number of changeups he's thrown, but we talked about this last week. Tommy Canely's changeup is a movement pitch. It's not a change of velocity pitch. He throws it because it moves. Yes, it's 87, but he throws it because he's using the movement of it to get his effects, not the difference between his fastball. So his changeup isn't used the way that John Smoltz used his changeup, or that they are traditionally used, because that's not how decisions are made. And he doesn't seem to concede that that's a thing, and it is a thing. So the way that what we know about pitching, and then therefore how we make decisions now, are just much different than they were when he played. But that said, if John played now, he would do the same. He would make decisions in the same way. He would know this stuff, and he'd probably be one of the best at it. So that to say, it's just, that's the difference. If you hear things like, oh, you slowed him down or you sped him up, I don't understand what you're doing. But when in reality, what they're doing is they're trying to use XY movement to get the effect, not change velocity. Does that make sense? So that's why Caneley's changeups worked. Now, it only goes so far. It also moves the same way every time. So, like, even the movement's going to lose effectiveness eventually. You don't need to pronate impulse to feel the right grip. On the screwball or the splitter? Or the changeup? What are you talking about? Now, you can seam shift the shit. So, now guys who throw are hyper supinated, and we all turn in this way, we can throw shit that goes that way like crazy. So, what's the point of learning to pronate when we can't, when we might just hurt ourselves? You don't need to do it anymore. Clay Holmes' sinker is literally thrown like this, guys. It has a dot here on the backside of the ball, and it just pushes it that way. Oh, the split. Oh, yeah. Split, you don't need to pronate as well. That's how I hurt myself with my splitters, because I felt the need to pronate, and I don't need to. What are we talking about? We're talking about the difference between screwballs, splitters, and changeups, and how Ty McKinley can throw 50 of them. And we also just talked anecdotally a little bit about John Smoltz's explanation of changing in velocity. Now, that said, though that's not how decisions are made quite as much anymore, because it's hard to quantify and predict, it still is a major part of the game. It's just not the only thing we know now. We know how movement left and right affects hitters, like, scientifically, and they didn't know that in the 90s, right? So that's just different. It's different, but so it gets lost to me. Sometimes I get a little frustrated. I'm like, man, that's just not what's going through his head. And there's sometimes the tone is, how does this guy not know this? Like, he talks like these guys are dumb, when in reality, they're just making decisions based on different information that they have, that he doesn't have and doesn't have any experience with. And it just irks me just a little bit. I'm like, dude, like, just, you don't know what you don't know. It's okay. It's okay. You know? Also, everyone thinks that John Smoltz is talking the whole time. It's because him and Joe sound so similar. It sounds like he's talking the whole time, but they're two different people. But they do have similar voices. They sound very similar. Does anyone else hear that? Or is that just me? Have you done a video on why you decided to retire and how you got into making content? I did. I have. It is on my YouTube if you want to. It's called Why I Retired, if you're interested. But in reality, it's for my family. And to be honest, I just, the lifestyle, I miss playing. I do. But I love this. I love the creativity of this. I've always wanted to have a creative job. I've always wanted to kind of have it be open-ended. And it came down to just the money is different, right? And you got to make the money when you can make it. And I did love competing, but there was just something about the travel, something about the constant, I have anxiety. Like, I'm just a high-strung person. It made it really hard. And then being away and not living where I went, and moving for spring training every year, I just was never excited, ever. And that was, I think that tells you something. When you're year 15 and you're not pumped to go to spring training again, maybe you don't like doing it that much. And at some point you're like, okay, I got enough. I'm good. And that just happens. Locaine did it. I did it. Buster Posey did it, guys. Buster Posey's like, you don't think Buster Posey could have played 3 more years? He could have. He could have hung on to the end, but he's like, you know what? That's enough. I'm good. I'm going to go home. And guess who's not going to be in the Hall of Fame and never was going to be? This guy. Enjoy watching Smoltz get hit by a pitch in Colorado. David Ortiz talks so much you forget. What are they doing a broadcast too? Are they doing the pregame and the postgame show? Because I watch on the app, so I don't get to watch on Fox. How great was Johan Santana's changeup? Incredible. His is a pronated changeup. He threw the classic four-seam circle change. Just the classic. He pronated nicely, and he had a great change in velocity as well, and great command. All of those things made Johan Santana's changeup so good. It'd have been cool if Posey did 2 more years or any. Yeah, but he didn't want to, Devin. That's the thing. Like, I didn't love that he didn't play anymore. I love watching him play. We were drafted the same year. I was like, I love watching Buster Posey play. But I also love that he was confident enough to say, you know what? Just because this has been who I am and what my life has been my whole life, I want to do something else, so I'm going to do it. Even if you're leaving money on the table, even if you're leaving like Hall of Fame on the table possibly, if you're willing to do that and you have the courage to be like, you know what? I don't have to be stuck in this. If I don't want to be, and if I decide I don't want to be, I'm not going to do it. That was sick. I think everyone, I want everyone to feel that. Let me just put it that way. I want everyone to feel that like, oh, this is my decision and I can say no if I don't want to, no matter what it is. Because I feel like we maybe, especially in America, get a little bit locked into what we do, and then that becomes our identity, and then we become slaves to it, and that's not very fun if things aren't going well. Oh, I think Posey will make the Hall of Fame. I just think that the question marks are going to be like, he only played 12 years, right? So he's kind of on the, we're now getting into a little bit of an inflection point here where the careers are getting shorter to the people going in and the standards are changing. But yeah, I mean, if he really, if being in the Hall of Fame was the thing he wanted, he would have tried to push at least a couple more years. He would have, but like, I don't think he cares. But there's just not many. I think he's probably going to be first ballot because he retired so young and he's beloved and he's got 3 rings. I think that's going to get him in. Same way that Mauer kind of got in, right? There's a lot of talk like, is Mauer's stats good enough? And then we're like, no, he's in. And then it was just in, right? Everyone's like, no, it's Joe Mauer. Come on. I think Buster Posey's beloved like he is. I think it's the same thing. So I think Posey is probably too. It's one of those things. You're either first ballot or you're probably not getting on. It's kind of like the way it is. So. I respect the hell out of talking about the anxiety piece of it. I'm 37 and I've always had anxiety, but it's really been talked about in the past 5 to 7 years. Yeah, like, bro, I have a crazy story. We were sitting, I believe it was in Tony Kemp's, so we were sitting in Tony Kemp's hotel room early in the season. I think we were in Baltimore or something in 2023, okay? And the news had come out that like Daniel Bard had just gone back on the IL for anxiety. By the way, if you don't know Daniel Bard's story with the yips and all the stuff he went through, I played with his brother Luke. Their family struggles with it as from a whole. It's just, I think it's genetic. They're just like kind of like the world's ending, right? They're great athletes. They're freak athletes, all of them. They're so good. But like just like everything's life or death. And when you feel like everything's life or death, it could be a lot quickly. So he went back on. We were talking about it. And then I was like, oh, Austin Meadows did too. And they were talking about the anxiety IL. And they were just all kind of like, anxiety IL? Like, what is that? And I was like, well, I have anxiety. Like, I'm like, you know how we all get nervous? They're like, yeah. I go, imagine that like your nerves, the butterflies turned into cramping. Like, okay. I go, there's been times where I revved myself up so hard. Like I was like so angry. I'm so angry because it was life or death and things went wrong. I'm so angry that I can't unclench my body. One time I went to a knee and I could not my brain was like, get up. My body's like, no. It's the weirdest thing ever. It feels like you are not in your body. It's weird. It's crazy. You're not tired. You're not like, it's not like your limbs don't work. It's like you become like numb to like, you just give up. You're like, I'm done. And your body's like, no, I'm laying here. And you can't go. And it's wild as hell. I'd never had anything like that happen. This was in 2020. This happened. So I told him about it. I'm like, dude, I had a panic attack, and I've had panic attacks. Didn't know that's what they were. To where like how it manifests for me, if I'm around people, I need to be alone now. So like I desperately look for somewhere to lose my mind by myself because it's embarrassing. When I went on the IL, I had a tough outing, but like I was so frustrated by a bunch of stuff out of my control. we had some stuff going with the catcher. We were not ever on the same page. Every time I talked to him, he would like, yeah, okay, let's do that. And then we go out there and just do the same. So I was like, dude, like, please work with me here. And then we got the pitch clock that's messing with me. And then we got pitch calm. So I can't even get the pitches right. And then I'm getting hit around and we suck. So like it became all these things that spun around my head. I get pulled out of the game. I try to go up to the clubhouse, and anyone's been to the Coliseum, there is nowhere that people aren't at. Okay, it's like a labyrinth down there, but there's someone everywhere. So I just basically had a mental breakdown, walking around the clubhouse, just fuming, yelling at myself, yelling with my player, talking to the trainers. What are we doing? This, that, and the other. And it was no one's fault but mine. But like, and then it went for like 40 minutes, and I realized there's something wrong. Like I can't just white knuckle through stuff like this shit anymore. I can't do it. I'm gonna give myself an ulcer, and I hate it here. Like, I hate being in this room because of what's happening right now. Now I'm getting this association with I'm so mad and frustrated that my body's shutting down, and I'm in this clubhouse. So now I think about this when I'm here. I have to change something. And it's embarrassing as shit. It's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be like, guys, I'm having anxiety and I can't play baseball. I understand how that looks. But like, and full disclosure, I had some stuff going on in my personal life as well that was just kind of on top. Just kind of piled on. So, felt like the world was falling. The sky was falling. And it felt like that 24 hours a day, every single day for months. So, anyway, but my whole life has been this. Just suppress it. When I was 15 years old, guys, or not 15, when I was like from 8 to 15, I get wildly frustrated and I have anxiety. So my dad has this too. My dad's one of those guys who like, he gets mad. He's like, what the fuck? But he's not mad at anybody. He's frustrated by a situation or himself or something. But he's not mad at anyone. No one's in trouble, but it always felt like I was. So I do the same thing. I'll be like, what the is this? Like something breaks. You guys have seen it. I've done it on stream. I do it on stream. I did it earlier today. That is how I am. Right? And when I was a kid, that would manifest in like my frustration. Tears would well up in my eyes. I would do it on the mound. I'd stomp around. I'd be mad. I'd like cry a little bit. And then no one wanted me on their team, even though I was the best pitcher by far. And then when I was 15 years old, I didn't make the postseason team, even though I was the best pitcher in the league by far. And I've never been more mad. It's the first time I ever just swore at my parents. And basically the coach said, hey, man, we just don't want to deal with your shit. And that was the most embarrassing thing I've ever had said to me by an adult. And I didn't know how to, my dad would get embarrassed by it. We'd make him go sit in center field because I'd be losing my mind out there and it'd be embarrassing. And I got called, everyone would call me crybaby all the time. I hate it. I hated it. But it's where it came from. It's just been part of my life. But it hurt my ability to play the sport. And I started to kind of figure this thing out when I was like 16, 17, 18. And then I got really good. And I got drafted. And then I had to work so hard on it as a professional. And that's where I figured it out. But it sucked. And it made playing not very fun sometimes. But I was so wildly competitive that like, I just basically came to the conclusion that I was just going to do whatever it took. I was just going to outwork everybody. I'm just like, I'll white knuckle it and I can white knuckle it forever. You can't keep me like, you're just not going to, I'm not going to get beat this way. And when that happened, it was easier to handle. But now I'm done and I can't turn that shit off. So now I'm like, now I can't just hang out. I have to like work all the time. Like, I'll just outwork everybody. I'll just make it amazing. Like now I'm dealing with it the other way, but that's how it happened. Did the playoffs make the anxiety bigger? No, it's funny. Pressure for the game became separate. So the pressure of the game of getting the job done didn't affect me. It was me. It was my own feeling about it, of embarrassment or something, trying to avoid being embarrassed. I actually didn't give a shit. And then what actually really happened for me, I think this was in 2021. I basically just said, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of this situation. And 19-2 in the playoffs, it's just like, dude, look around. This is awesome. This is crazy. I'm going to enjoy every moment of this. And then it just went away. So, and obviously there's been a lot of work with therapists and things. Still working on it. Still working on it every single day. Because guess what? I don't want my son to get this stuff. He's gonna in a little bit. He's gonna be an emotional kid probably, and I was an emotional kid. So, but he's got a papa who knows a lot about it, so we can talk about it and I can help him through it. Was 2019 ALDS like? I would like to say it was a blast, but we got our ass kicked the whole time, so it actually wasn't super fun. But being in Yankee Stadium in the playoffs is pretty sick. So anyway, do you ever try heavy metal and parasite detox? Helps big time with anxiety. The old vent method. I love System of a Down. Does that count? Is that metal? I don't even. Not really. Anonymous gifted as a sub to Axe. Oh my God, Chris, I see you. 2 months. Thank you, Chris Hannell. Appreciate that a lot. And all the bits from Kimmy. Thank you, Kimmy. Appreciate you. Seam shifted wake is just bullet spin. It goes the other way. Yes. But bullet spin, you want to get a dot of a seam, so you want it to be a tight spin. Seam shifted wake, you want the big circles. So you want it's still a tight spin, but you don't want the bullet, you want the big circle so that you can catch the air on that side of the ball. But yes, the spin at the end of the day is barrel spin. Fat bearded maths teacher, doubt it. I bet you don't even have a beard anymore. 54 months, thank you, bro. Fat bearded, thank you. Ink thread, we got more. Oh, hype train, we're on a hype train. Woo woo! Dude, Surge is the man, dude. Oh, I've seen Last Meals. I've seen it. It's great. My underdog bet for Game 3 could be a $1,600 win. All right, Brian, tell us what your picks are, brother man. Bill, what do you got? Thanks, man. I'll be back next week. This was awesome. First time joining live. Hey, thanks for being here. Guys, we have 25 minutes left in the show. I know I don't have a ton. We didn't have Nasty's pitches because there's only a few. We only have one game going now. So the next Nasty's pitches we're going to do is probably best of the year. And probably be the next week or two. Trev, do you listen to Coheed and Cambria? Do I listen to Coheed? Yes, I love Coheed. I saw it. Yes, people have told me that I look like him. Coheed, yes. I walked out to Welcome Home for a few years. Would you rather have in your team Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani? Shohei. You know why? He pitches. That's it. So, for the last 25 minutes, guys, we've kind of already been doing it, but we are in full AMA mode. If you want to ask questions, I would love to do breakdowns and things. I can look things up on the computer. We can look at statistics. I can show you what I use for doing statistics. Anything you guys want to know. Also, moving forward with our new format for the show, guys, we're going to keep going on this day at this time in perpetuity. But we are going to be doing special segments. We have we're going to have Nasty's pitches. We're going to do the player breakdowns, like a lot of them. Especially as we get close to the season. And then we'll have our main subject, our main story, kind of like, you know, how like Last Week Tonight works and stuff, where they have their main point with all their extra stuff around it. That's going to be an hour of the show. And then we're going to be doing a lot of like bringing in people doing interviews and things for the second hour with like community participation. So if you join the Discord, your questions get in the show. You can participate in there. We're going to have forums going all off season. We're going to be talking about free agency like crazy. Like next week, for example, I'm breaking down Jim Bowden's 45 free agents and where they could go and what they could get. We're going to go through them and talk about them and try to make our own predictions. And I want your guys' feedback for that. So feel free to ask questions and go crazy right now because I am yours. I am yours. You think you'll make it up to Sacramento in 2025? I don't know. I don't know if I would ever get there. Speaking of statistics, where do you stand on the argument of using analytics versus relying on field development, sustained players' abilities? I think that the people, especially the media members that even speak about those two things as if they are versus at all. They are not mutually exclusive. One aids the other. Analytics tell you what's happening. So there's two ways you can do it. My eyes see something. What do the analytics say? Oh, it backs it up. Great. Or analytics are like, oh, this analytics found something that maybe you can't see. Let me look for it. Oh, it is there. Look at that. That's how it should work. That's how it should work. Now, if you're a person making decisions in games, sometimes you got to go with your gut. Sometimes you got to go with the numbers. And I always talk about it from a sample size point of view. In the playoffs, more feel, more look with a layer of analytics pointing you in directions. During the season, heavily focusing on analytics, that keeps guys healthier and keeps workloads even and all that kind of stuff. That's more valuable then. So it needs to shift as the season goes on. The games mean more, and there's less games happening. My lawyer friend, 48 months. Oh my God, that's 4 years, dude. We're due for a catch up. Have you got your first eye infection yet from your baby? Where do you think the Rays will play next year? I have great news. Robbie Manfred said that that they're going to figure the roof thing out by Christmas. I think there's about 0% chance that happens, but if it does, I'll tip the cap. When playing for a West Coast team to travel East Coast, players adjust sleep for the new time, or do they keep their bodies on West Coast time? You basically just do whatever. You just kind of stay on. You go to sleep when the time is you're there. That's the best you can do. But going to the East Coast sucks ass. Right? No, actually, no. It's different. So if you go West Coast to East Coast, right, and you're playing 7 o'clock games, it's 4 o'clock to you. So it's not that big of a deal. So basically, all you're doing is going to bed earlier, which is nice. When you're going to the East Coast to the West Coast, if you're a closer, for example, you're like, oh, I'm used to pitching at 9:45. Now my body thinks it's 12:45. That sucks. Mookie Betts or Juan Soto? Juan Soto. I'll give him the edge. Now, if we're bowling, Mookie. I think Mookie is an incredible player. Now, defensively, Mookie, 100%. But in a huge spot, I'll take Juan Soto. Huge spot, and he's also lefty, and the most people are right-handed. And yeah, I'll take Juan Soto. I'll take Juan Soto over every single hitter in the major leagues right now in a big spot. Thoughts on the proliferation of sports betting? This is coming from somebody who is sponsored by Underdog, myself. I think that it is. I think that the concept of using your knowledge to make predictions is so fun, right? So on its face, I should love it, but I'm completely adverse to using money as my incentive. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that turns into trouble, and that's where the addiction part gets part of it. So like I like the game of it. I'm not a huge fan of the money part, because not as big of a fan as the money part, because I've also been on the receiving end of some vitriol for some idiots who just made bad decisions and then blamed it on me. And I think it's just and I also think the people that are pushing it really hard, they're not looking out for people. They're not. They're just trying to make as much money as they possibly can. And it's a representation of that, and that's just gross to me. It's still gross to this day. Because I think we've relied on like government regulation to like keep these things just like buttoned up a little bit. Like just, we got to trust you to button it up. So like if I want to do it, I can, but like got to jump through them hoops. And the more hoops you release, that's when people get in trouble. But, again, people can make their own decisions. So, but it is bringing in people. Like fantasy football has brought more people into football than anything in history, I think. Like there's wives playing, and there's people who wouldn't have liked football who are doing it because they're playing fantasy football. There's no money on the table for that stuff, right? Fantasy sports is great, but then obviously that parlays. Let's see what I did there. So that's it. It's just one of those things. Like it's never been anything that I've been really into. I don't really like gambling that much. I play poker a little bit. I play some blackjack. I go with a couple $100 to the casino. But like I'm not the guy who's like, let's go lose 10 grand. Like it doesn't get my jollies up the same way. How goes your streaming? It's fun. Any fun memories of Truist Park? Yes. My favorite one was probably when I gave up the home run off the batter's eye to Freddie Freeman. That was probably my number one favorite thing ever. Do teams have to pay licensing rights for walk-up songs? Not directly, no. They have like a licensing package. And then there's some sort of fair use situation going there too, because they only play a certain a certain amount of the song. I don't know how these laws work, but there's I don't know. They're probably exempt. They're exempt from fucking everything. Oh, wait, I have a question for you. What's the 5-year outlook for the Nats? Give me hope. I would be very excited about the Nats. I think they're going to spend some money. I think that I think they have their people. I think that Rizzo is going to get. I think Dave Martinez is a good manager. I think they have really good coaching. They've had the same guys. Like, it's just they need some guys to click. I think their core is being developed. They're just a couple pieces away. So and they're not a small market. They can spend money. They just haven't had the opportunity. So they might grab a couple guys, and we might see some guys come into their own. And then who knows, man? Dude, I'll tell you one thing. Those young dudes are exciting. Those young dudes are exciting. So I would be high on them. I think that in the next 5 years they do something special. Does the GM have any say in playoff shares? No. The GM is part of the front office. They have their own thing. Thank God. So, yes, I'd be happy. I'd be excited about them. Mount Rushmore of New York Mets teammates. Francisco Lindor. What is that, 4? Francisco Lindor, Adam Ottavino, Tommy Hunter, Pete Alonso. You know what? Yeah. Will Trevor Benzana be a superstar? It's entirely possible, but I have no idea until he's played in big leagues. If you could have played in a city for one team, which one would it have been? The Mariners. Tigers' chances of getting Alonso? Dude, it's going to be really interesting. Pete is going to be really interesting. It could go in so many different ways. He could get the year-by-year deal. He could get the big deal he's looking for because someone's willing to pay it, and they're going to try. He could just sign back with the Mets. He could get a qualifying offer. I don't know. I don't think the Tigers would be too excited about paying for him, especially in that park. So, Pirates need bats. They could get Alonso. Yeah, unfortunately, the Pirates will pay him about 10% of what he's worth. You ready for A-Rod to buy the Twins and become the face of man? So I need people to know this really quickly. A-Rod ain't buying shit. A-Rod does not have enough money to buy anything. He is just going to be he's going to have 1% of an ownership group and be the face of it. So let's just be very clear. All right. He does not have $1 billion, but he does know a lot of people do. But yeah, that would be awful. I don't think Twins fans would be super excited about that. He'll be the Magic Johnson of the LA Dodgers. Yeah. I know you hear it all the time, but it meant a lot to all of us. Hey, Justin Aguilar, you're welcome, brother. I'm going to take that to my grave. The way you guys were treated and continue to be treated. Some of the best people I've ever met. Like, I loved every single event that was baseball related in Oakland. I was just like, I want to be there because these people are awesome. They give a shit. They know what's going on. So, do you like baseball cards? I do like baseball cards. I used to collect them when I was a kid. And I stopped for some reason. I have all of my cards. So yeah, every cool one. But if A-Rod is the face of the Twins, I hope not for your sake, guys. I hear you. I feel you. Yeah. Did we talk about why Judge strikes out nonstops in the playoffs? Yes. Aaron Judge strikes out a lot anyways. 31% strikeout rate, regardless, even when he's cooking. He's swinging at pitches that are 2 inches out of the zone that he never does in the playoffs or in the regular season in the playoffs. The reason he's doing that is because he's pressing, because he is the captain, and it is his job to be the hero and win a World Series, and it isn't his job to be a hero and win the World Series, and he needs to work an account and make guys feel uncomfortable, and he's not doing it. That's Why were you so dominant in high school? I was 6'5" and threw low 90s in Washington. That's why. I always punch tickets. I punched so many tickets as a kid. I've always struck out dudes. But yeah, I struck out 126 in 68 innings in my senior year. Reggie Jackson is the most Ks of all time. Does he? I don't know that. Most powerful hitters usually whiff the most. Yeah. I mean, he does. It's not like he's, it's not like he has a crazy low whiff rate. He's got an above average whiff rate. He always has. It's just you have to be super fine to do that. And he's made it so they don't have to be super fine. That's it. Prediction for the Braves in 2025. I can imagine Austin Riley, Olsen, and Acuna all come out hot as hell, and they're right back in the conversation for the division. Ooh, it's going to be really fun to watch the Mets, Phillies, and Braves play each other next year. Hope Justin Verlander has a bounce back next year. Ain't over yet. I mean, at this point, bro, he's 40, 41? You did it. Like, however long he wants to play, he can play. Are you going to let your kid curse? At some point, yeah. As a Marlins fan that had Jeter as 4% ownership, Twins fans, you won't want A-Rod. Do you DH Acuna next year? Probably not. Do you know who Ryan Klesko is? Yes. Not Kelsko. Klesko. Let's go. All right, 10 more minutes, guys. Give them to me. We got to go. We got to go soon because I got to go be dad soon. Forgotten Pass, holiday series with Paul again. I'm in. We just got to find a time when all our babies aren't screaming at us. Why is your mic dirty? I don't know. I have cats. It just sits here. I don't touch it. Literally, this is all just cat hair, guys. It's just cat hair. Stuff happens. It's not as bad as it looks on the camera either. Just like my eye's not as bad as it looks on the camera. You didn't see that. It's okay. Is Kershaw ST? What? What, guys? What? You are the billionaire. Who do you buy and who do you relocate? Let's say I have $10 billion. So I give John Fisher $2.1 billion. I buy the A's. And then I give him an extra $100 million so that I can punch him square in his face. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Joking. Can't say anything. Everyone's so sensitive these days. Probably Oakland or to Nashville or Portland or... We're going to have to switch. I want a new version of that in the studio. I need actual lights to go off and shit. That's what I... Maglio, Quidos. What's up, dude? What do you think of the Pohlads when you play for the Twins? I like the Pohlad family. I'll be honest. Like, Jim's not the most engaged dude. Like, he didn't really seem to care that much. I did have to introduce himself to him at the team dinner like 4 straight years. Which is a little bit, whatever. I know what it's like to not really be that engaged or care about baseball players. Like, whatever. Like, but yeah, it's not like he wasn't super engaged. Joe was more engaged, but I think that Joe has his heart in other places. I think that has something to do with selling the team. The guy that the team fell down to operate it, I don't think he wants to operate a baseball team. I think that's what it's come down to. So, and if that's the case, then stack up, sell the team because you don't want to operate it anymore. Don't be a greedy F and try to move it just so you can pump up the price and convince some other idiot to buy it for way too much because you didn't add any value to it. And then you can run around Silicon Valley and talk to all the other billionaires. Be like, guys, look how good at business I am. Look how I made this more money. It's like the easiest thing in the world when you're a billionaire to make money. It's the easiest thing ever. All you have to do is be like, it's like they rig it. They rig it for themselves anyways. Right? So, it's really hard. It's really hard to lose all your money. It's so hard. Not to open a can of worms, what your biggest fight being on the next CBA? I think that they're gonna both be like, hey, can we get arbitration lower? Like, cool, salary cap. So it's gonna be about the luxury tax, and it's gonna be about expanding the pre-arb pool and the minimum wage, which is it just doesn't matter. The minimum wage is like barely a thing, and they always act like it's the biggest get ever, and it's just not. It's not supposed to be anyway. But playoffs, they're going to want 2 more playoff teams again. Especially after this playoffs, guys. They're going to be like, can we get all 30 teams in so we can just milk the shit out of that? Those are the things that are going to happen. But I think there's some concessions. I think there's some things they can trade off. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You need to fight regularly about it because one side's got motives. I mean, I'm always going to be this way no matter who does this. But like, if you become a labor lawyer, if you become a lawyer that specializes in labor negotiation, and then you choose to take the job with the employers, with the people with all the power, that's something that you do. You just don't sound very fun at parties. You seem like the person that brings the napkins. You know what I mean? Like, who the hell wants to do that? Unless they're ambitious and all they want is power. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, ugh, why would you ever choose that? That's like from like 2011 to 2016 being a huge college girls basketball fan and being a huge UConn Huskies fan. They haven't lost a game in 5 years. Like, I like the team that never loses. Fun, man. You're probably having a blast. It's like that same energy. So whatever you want to do. But like, there's not a lot of respect for it. Could Kershaw still be good? I think he is still good. He's just hurt. His body hurts really bad. Why is Bartolo not in Cologne and not in Cooperstown? Well, he does have the suspension. I don't know. So. What are the strangest jerseys you had to wear for a game? The wool jerseys we had to wear in like low A. It was awful. They got so hot. Rockoistic game. Rockoisk. I don't know how to say your name. Gaming, thank you for 10 months. Dodgers in 5. Maybe. I just hope it's not in 4, whatever it is. How many of the Silicon Valley billionaires were you about? Also Newport Beach billionaires? All the billionaires are billionaires everywhere. I don't know. The concept of a billionaire, I think that if we just had a bunch of people with like hundreds of millions of dollars, we'd be in a better place. Have you guys heard of the book Disney War about Michael Eisner? Fascinating. It's weird. I keep seeing the same story play out over and over again, yet no one ever makes an adjustment. It's a great book. But my God. It's like every dude who does this, who like becomes this really powerful executive for a company and then like gets pushed out or leaves in shame. It's the same thing every single time. They just they get drunk on their power and they start making a bunch of bad decisions, and then it falls apart. And it happens over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And no one ever learns. They just keep doing it. It's crazy. Am I a Disney fan? Of course I am. I was a 90s kid. Of course I am. What happened to Nike cleat customization? Didn't make any money. All right. Hoping for some good luck and a prayer. I got you, John. Beagle Dad. What's going to happen? And over, actually. Oh, why is Bartolo not in the Hall of Fame? He's not eligible yet. That's probably one. We'll see. We'll see if he gets in. I don't know. All right. All right, guys. Billionaires did not exist until the 1970s. Interesting. Anyway. You're right in the Michael Eisner made some good decisions. He just turned into a piece of shit. He just did. He just basically gaslit everyone after that, and he refused to admit that he made bad decisions. Kind of like Elon. You think Elon Musk will be ever like, hey guys, sorry, I was wrong. Do you think that'll ever come out of his mouth? Even in public or in private? No. When that happens, it's downhill. Because Human beings are fallible, and you can't be in control of everything all the time. You can't just grow infinitely. It's not possible. You just got to have oh, I got there. Let's try something else. If you have that, you're going to be fine. But if you hold on to the old days forever, and then you just keep gaslighting everybody, it's eventually going to explode in your face. It just does every single time. So, anywho. Anyways, I love you guys. You're the best. I didn't know that was, I didn't know we had a Danny command. That's great. Anyway, his bad decision with electric vehicles. I'd say that's one of his better ones. Anyway, we don't need to complain about him. I just think these people suck. And they didn't start by sucking, and then they just get to a point where they do suck, and it just keeps happening. So, like, I just don't have any interest in that, which I think is great. Anyway, I'll see you guys next Monday. I didn't mean to go this way. We kind of ran out of stuff to talk about because there's only one fucking game, but we're going to go watch it. I will see you next Monday. We're going to get into free agency. We're going to have some new stuff. We will do mistake versus outplay again. We'll have that again on Monday. We're going to have nasty pitches on Monday. We'll have some breakdowns of some seasons, maybe. Maybe we'll do, remember when we did my custom, we did this last year in the off season. I'm going to do my custom awards for the season again. We'll do nastiest pitches of the year. We're going to have all of our of the year wrap up stuff coming up soon too. So it's going to be a fun few weeks on the show. And then probably my goal is around December, around the winter meetings, having the studio where we're doing the show every time and then slowly integrating the new stuff as we go. All right. All right. I love you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you next time on the Mayday Show. Guys, sub to my YouTube channel, please. Give it a thumbs up. Follow on Twitch. All those things. All the subs, all the bits, everything, guys. So, seriously, so generous. And we're going to have some really fun stuff happening. More and more people collaborating. The show's going to get... Let's just put it this way. I'm not going to have to use MS Paint all the time. All right? You guys have a great day. And drink your water. And let's hope the Yankees can make this thing 2-1 so we at least have a good rest of the series. Let me give you your music on your way out. If it'll play. Ooh, it's happening again, guys. Ooh, this is awkward. Oof. Oof. Ooh, God, I'm still here. Dude, they're looking at you right now, Trev. Ugh, guys, don't look at me. Ugh, this is awkward. Oh, God. All right, see ya.